Oh, it's kind of dark in here. I just can't be bothered putting on the lamp. I turned off the light and I was gonna lie down a little bit longer because, like I said, I was up at 3 in the morning in an earlier video. But then, boom, this comes into my mind while I'm praying, and I'm just gonna call this reality thinking. And I think it's so important now because the devil, being the father of lies, wants to play with our minds and our hearts and get us off focus. And he can do that with what I will call fantasy thinking. The only time fantasy thinking is legit or okay is when you know it's fantasy thinking, and say you're a writer and like Tolkien or something and writing The Hobbit or whatever kind of book, and you know you're dealing with a world that's not real. It's fictional. It's a fictional world. That's legitimate. That's okay. Here's where fantasy thinking becomes dangerous and can lead to sin. When you don't see a relationship or a situation the way it is. If you see it the way it is, then it's a healthy relationship. I'll give a couple examples. I was one of these guys that always fell in love with the wrong girl. Okay, and I'll just give one example. There was this cheerleader in ninth grade. Yeah, ninth grade. I remember Julie Bland, and she was just to me. She could do no wrong. She could, and I mooned over her. And I remember sitting in class and just looking at her when she didn't know I was looking at her, and and had all these hopes without putting forth the effort either. I didn't put forth the effort I could have maybe, looking back on it, because I thought, oh, she'll never be interested in me, and she wasn't. See, that's self-defeatist thinking. But the thing is, I invented this relationship with a girl who I didn't even really, really know. I mean, we were friends, but that was it. See, if I kept it, understood that it was just a friendship thing, maybe eventually it could have developed into something real. So, but that's fantasy thinking, but it's really, really dangerous when we get into a marriage or with our children and we imagine that they're something that they're not. Even in our own families, like you can you can make your wife into this perfect goddess that she's not, and that's not fair to her. It's not fair to you, and it's very unhealthy and dangerous. And with your children, you can say, "Oh, little Dick and Jane, they can do no wrong. They're perfect." And of course, if they know that you think that way, well, they're gonna wrap you around their little finger. And even in a friendship, if you make that more than what it is, friendships can be really, really good if you see them for what they are and don't have expectations. The only expectations you need to have are high expectations of yourself. And even those can only be achieved with the help of Jesus Christ. Now, in regards to your relationship with Jesus Christ, you can go as wild as you want. You can imagine anything you want about him, any attribute, any trait, and he's got it threefold, tenfold, twentyfold, beauty, loving, compassionate, truthful, merciful, on and on and on. But that's the only time. See, he is about truth, absolute truth. And so truth has to be in everything in our lives, and how we deal with people, how we see people, um, how we deal with in our marriages, and all our relationships, whatever they may be. If you make them other than what they are and see them for what they are not, well, you're in fantasy land and you're not in the truth, and you might end up in a very bad place, sinful place. You will certainly end up hurt. You'll certainly end up wounded. But if you see your wife as well, this is who she is. This is the mistake she makes. You love her anyway for them, but you know that she's going to do it, and you don't have an expectation that she's going to be super mom or super wife or whatever. You know, I just was led to do this short video about how living in the truth is in every aspect of our lives, seeing every situation, every relationship as it is, not how we might imagine it to be or even wish it to be. Wishful thinking is just as dangerous.